I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Dumb Witch Club.
Ha, 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 ha.
Oh my God. We're here. No one is freaking out. No one.
Okay, no one.
Because there's nothing to freak out about. Because we are doing an
Outer Planet Review. So that you don't have to freak out.
Right.
Because you'll know what to do.
That's right. In any situation.
From our review.
Let's do a card pull. I need help.
Let's do a card pull. Look at what I brought.
Oh my God. I was just going to say, okay, we have had some very, animal encounters lately.
Yes,
so she brought a spirit animal deck, but that's
before I knew.
She knew about the animal encounters.
Yeah. Okay. So
I said we, but it was me, and then it was we.
It was me. Well, yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. Well, it was us, and then it was you, and then because we had the owl, the crows.
Oh, that's true. That's true too.
The bats.
That's true. You're right.
So
that
was in my
ongoing.
Head. But then when I came here, and then you're like, oh, well, then it was this.
Yeah.
And then it was, and then that other thing happened. It was all that. Now I'm like, oh, that's apropos. But now I'm a little afraid. Not gonna lie.
There is nothing to fear. I'm afraid. Okay.
There's nothing to fear.
That's it. I got nothing
afraid.
else. That's literally the end.
Okay.
Do you want to pull or you want me to pull? Okay,
No.
I'll pull.
I can't. I don't think I can handle that.
Okay.
I might crush out.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll do it.
This is one of our longest running decks that we've owned.
That's true. I really do like it.
I do too.
It does have some strange animals though in it. Some very unique animals. So I'm excited to see what happens here.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
do it.
Do it. Bear.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Bear is big and protecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we always choose bear.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
I like it. I really don't want to look into it any further. I'm like, I can look up and see what it says.
No, I like it. I feel like bears are super protective and they're nurturing. And I mean, obviously they're terrifying and scary and whatever. It's like a gigantic beast, right?
Yeah, that would kill you.
But they're not trying to kill you.
They're not trying to kill you.
They protect their young and they have the little cubs and they catch the fish in the river. It's so cute.
I've been seeing a lot of bear stuff recently, not in person, but on social media. I just saw something where a bear, I don't know where it was, but a bear was drowning in a river, under a bridge. Yeah, and a man jumped in and saved the bear.
Wow.
I know.
I don't know if I would do that. Some people are really altruistic. I don't.
They really are.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
that is amazing. And I like the bear. That's fine. That's good.
Good.
I'll take it.
Me too.
Yes.
I like it.
But it wasn't a caiman. I was afraid it was going to be the caiman.
Oh, God.
Anyways, okay. Outer Planet Review. No more animal stuff.
Yes.
Okay. That sounds weird too.
That
anyways,
sound
I
weird.
don't mean it like anything. And Outer Planet Review. Let's just get started.
Outer Planet Review.
So, what is this?
Yeah, okay.
Do we even know?
Yeah, what is this? So, we do know. We kind of know.
We know.
All right.
We do.
So, we give you the monthly energy report.
Right.
Which we know you love, and we do too. But we've noticed, okay, we kind of give you this overview, and we focus on the things that we feel are going to be the most, personally impacting, things that you can kind of look into. And then, I always include the moons to, some excessive degree, whatever. But we don't always really touch on the sort of generational or outer planets in detail, because that gets a lot. And because it's kind of a larger collective energy, we just don't really focus on that as much.
Yes, and I think part of the reason to, echo what you're saying is that these planets have much longer cycles. They do change, and several of them have changed recently, which also I think prompted us to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they don't change as frequently, so it's not like, Venus, where basically every month we're like, oh, she's going into a new sign and this whole thing. There are aspects a lot of the times, and that's when we'll mention the outer planets.
Mm-hmm.
But they just kind of don't get mentioned as much. And I think there's several things going on with several of them that have changed recently, and going into cycles that are going to last a long time. So I think it's something interesting to go in a little more depth on.
Yeah, and there's been more conversation about these outer planets than there really has been in years and years, because you have one generational planet that changes signs, and that is a big shift and gets attention.
Yes.
But let alone when basically all of them have.
Yes, because they're all on different time schedules.
Right.
So they don't always all change at the same time.
No.
So, okay, let's get into them one by one, and then we'll kind of see how they line up and interact with each other in certain ways as well.
Yeah.
So let's start with our little friend Jupiter.
Okay.
Because Jupiter, if we go from the inside Mercury all the way out, Jupiter's the first planet that's considered more of a social planet and not a personal planet, and that's simply because its cycle is longer. It takes about 12 years to go through the whole zodiac, so it stays in each sign for about a year, but it's not aligned with the calendar year, of course, so it changes kind of midway. In fact, this year it went into Cancer on June 9th, and will stay there until June 30th of next year.
Yeah, exactly.
So what does this mean?
Yeah, so, Jupiter is not as sort of, like, revolutionary, I guess, as, like, some of the shifts of the other planets, because it does change sort of on a yearly cycle.
Yes.
But still, the tone and the element change, I think, is what is important here with it shifting into Cancer.
Yes.
From Gemini into Cancer. So from an air sign, which has a very distinct specific energy, into a water sign. I feel like the Jupiter change is probably the one I'm like, oh, well, thank goodness we at least have this, because it feels very kind of like nurturing and nice compared to other things that are going on.
Yes, and I think that has a lot to do with just the Cancer energy being, yes, emotional, and that can be intense, but it also it's nurturing, it's about home, it's about cozy, it's about coming back to yourself. And Jupiter, that planet, is kind of the teacher, it's the guru, it's about optimism and truth. So it has that positive energy too. And then I feel like when it meets up with Cancer, it's just, it's like sweet, it's like lovely, It
is, and I feel like and we'll get into all the other stuff obviously going on, but even just in thinking about what's going on for you, like globally and societally in your life, like, this feels like a very sort of refocus on what's important and sort of your own four walls and your family and your emotional center and your relationships and, sort of like what is really important big picture wise.
Yeah.
Which is important, because that's, if you have any sort of control, that would be a place where you would have some sort of control in this situation.
And that's why Jupiter being that kind of first, because we have like the social planets, which are kind of considered to be Jupiter and Saturn. And then beyond that, they're more like transpersonal planets, because the cycle is just even longer, which, like you say, we'll get into.
Sure.
This one still changes often enough that it's giving you a lot of different lessons and a lot of different opportunities, basically, from year to year. I was also going to say, and I'll kind of do this for each of them, these planets being not so much the personal planets, meaning that everybody born within this year or whatever year has the same Jupiter placement, which makes it obviously very different than, everyone born even on the same day can have different rising sign, different moon even, for example.
Exactly.
Even though this changes on one day too, unless you're born on that one day, you share it with everyone in the year. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so how does this play out in your own personal life, given that it's more of a shared energy? You really have to look at what house Cancer or whatever the planet in question is in your chart. And then it kind of like skips, I feel like, the Cancer energy. It's more going to focus on that house and what Jupiter's bringing as it's transiting through that house, if that makes any sense. So like our description of Jupiter in Cancer, that's still true.
Right.
But when you look at it in your own chart, if you have that in, your first house, you're going to see Jupiter, that guru, teacher, expansion in your like very personal identity. If that's your 8th house, you're going to see that guru, teacher, expansion in areas more of like, death or transformation or learning in those ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It's like the stage that energy is sort of playing out in, and that does make it a little bit more personal for you, or gives a layer of like personalization to that, even though it's more of a generational.
Yeah, and the
placement.
sign is really just how you locate the house for yourself in your chart. It doesn't matter so much what the sign is. It's just the sign is pointing you to the house where Jupiter is transiting and activating things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
so
that makes total sense.
Yeah. So there's kind of the general interpretation, and then that's a little bit more of a way to get a more personal interpretation.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yes. Sorry, I know. It's hard to explain these things succinctly.
It is, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that succinct.
As long as it makes sense.
Yes, as long as it makes sense. And of course, you can like take this in as you can and then do a little bit more research, write stuff down, explore more. It's not like you have to just listen to this and then know everything. Like, that's not possible. So,
of course.
Yeah.
But moving on to our friend Saturn.
Yes.
What is up with Saturn right now?
Saturn is in retrograde right now.
Right.
So that's a thing. Saturn has transitioned from Pisces to Aries.
Right.
And is considered in its fall in Aries.
Right.
So meaning it's not, Saturn isn't super comfortable with Aries energy. I think that might be surprising for some people, because I think people associate, if you do know sort of these planets and what they represent, you might know that Saturn is sort of that like serious kind of taskmaster energy, which you would think, oh, well, wouldn't that kind of work with Aries? No, because Aries is too impulsive, and too bold.
And Saturn is also about that authoritarian kind of like what's right.
Yes.
And what you should be doing.
Exactly.
And Aries is like, no, I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah, like I don't really care about that.
Not what I should be doing according to you, you know, type of a thing.
So it is a little bit of a clash. Yeah. But again, like these are growth opportunities. Anytime there's sort of something that doesn't work as well, it's an opportunity to shift the perspective and to kind of like bridge, you know, what can be positive about that interaction. And I think here, I mean, for me, it's looking at like a pretty stern review of how are we handling ourselves, our business, right? Structuring our lives, sort of preparing for things to come, or the signposts that we're seeing on the horizon, and really getting our ducks in a row so that we can be ready. I mean, it's impossible to know the future. You're not going to know, but you can kind of see the way things are heading and be smarter about the stuff that you're doing.
Yes, and that is what Saturn wants us to do. And doing that through Aries, it's going to be a little harder to learn that lesson.
Yeah.
And you might have to, you know, sort of humble yourself in a way, which, you know, Aries can need to learn to do.
Sure.
But Saturn has a 29-year cycle approximately. Yeah. It is in Aries, like you said, right now. It will be until the beginning of September of this year, September 1st. Yeah. Then it's going to retrograde back into Pisces for several months. It'll jump back over into Aries February 13th of 2026, and there it will stay until April 12th of 2028. So that's where you really have that long range of time where it's going to be, you know, these first few months, because it's going to retrograde back into Pisces. Yeah. It's almost like a little preview.
Yeah.
Which you may like, or you may be like, oh God, you know, right? If this is your Saturn return, that's always a big one in the chart. People talk a lot about it. We have a return of a lot of planets, especially, you know, Saturn and below, in terms of like, you know, how big the cycles are.
Yeah.
But that's a big one, you know,
it is.
because Saturn is, like you were just saying, it's kind of this like check-in and evaluation of like, okay, where are you at? What are you doing? Why are you even doing this? Do you want to do this? Whatever, like all of that stuff. Maturity, structure, it's a reminder of all of that stuff. Exactly. And again, like Aries, you know, might protest that.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean it's not valid, doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, and, you know, like Jackie has said many times, this is her advice, you know, lean into whatever side of that you want.
Yes.
And that is very Aries energy too, right? Which obviously coming from her, right? Like lean into whatever side of that you choose. They can't bully you into things that you don't want to do.
They're planets, people.
Yeah, you can say no, or you can just be like, I'm not doing that right now. I'm going to wait for you to go and retrograde, and then I'll be fine, and then fine. You're going to do your thing again. That's totally fine. You don't have to.
Exactly. You
do anything you don't want to do.
You can wait it out.
You can.
But just again, as a reminder to what I was saying before, look for where does this sign of Aries fall in your chart.
Yeah.
That is the house that Saturn will be transiting. And that's where you can kind of see maybe where in your life you're going to have these lessons illuminated.
Yeah, that's actually such a good point, too. I'm really glad that you're saying this because it gives a little bit of context, which feels a little bit more pragmatic.
Yeah.
Right? Because
otherwise, it's like...
Otherwise, yeah, it's just crazy. And that's also why we don't go into as much detail with this either, because it's so vast that it almost makes, like, no sense. It's like absurd in a way.
Well, yeah, it's only going to get more so.
It is. And so I love that because it's like, okay, just focus on the house that it belongs to and ignore everything else. Yeah. Or just, I don't know, chalk that up to something else. But don't worry about like, oh, it's this global. Who cares? Like, you can't really be worried about all that.
But it might still be happening, though.
It is. It is, but
it's okay. So let's move on to the next. Is Uranus, which is in Gemini. Also, just went into Gemini,
yes.
like literally just.
Yes.
On July 7th.
Right.
It's going to retrograde in November back into Taurus.
Yeah.
It's going to stay in Taurus until the April 25th of 26, and then it'll be in Uranus or in Gemini until May 22nd. 2033.
Yeah, man.
So that is a good long time.
This one is a thing.
It is a thing because of both of those, because of the planet and the sign.
Yeah, this one's a thing.
It's a good thing it only has an 84-year cycle because we are not going to see this again in our lifetime.
Yeah, at least
unless you were just born.
Yeah, exactly. This one is a thing. This may be what I think people are feeling the most.
But it's only just begun.
I know, but it's already such a...
And it's more like that preview thing again,
yes.
like we were saying. Like, we kind of have this preview for these few, like, basically, like, short months.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go back into Taurus, and then we're going to be back in here. So, what the planet Uranus is about individuality, uniqueness, invention. Mm-hmm. It's also about upheaval, rebellion, taking a really hard look at things that are wrong and being like, that's wrong. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it's...
And so what does Gemini do with all this?
I mean, talk about it.
Think, overthink.
Endlessly.
Bring up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, gossip about it. Can't figure out what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
That is the thing that I think is happening. It's like you see all of this AI just like ramping up, right? And just this like, that's fake, that's not real, that person's not even alive anymore, that was never a real person. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy, and it's like affecting everybody. And just from like a US perspective, the last time Uranus was in Gemini was from 1941 to 1948. Wonder what was happening then. So we're having the U.S. is having its Uranus return,
right? Which we just had our Pluto return.
Yes,
and now we'll get to Pluto in a few minutes.
Yeah,
but all of this also connects with what Pluto is now doing.
I know.
So it's kind of really amplifying all of this type of stuff, of like what is happening. What is wrong? A lot. What are you going to do about it? Don't know.
Don't know yet.
Yeah. It's frustrating, and it's kind of scary, and it's like I said, it's only just begun here too. So
I know. It's like another I know we've spoken about this in our like monthly energy reports and things like that too, that it's necessary,
of course.
Obviously, that's why it's happening, and that's why you can track these things and look back and see like what significant events. I mean, it was also the U.S. Revolutionary War and the Civil War, so
yes,
you can look back and see those patterns. That's what the study of astrology is, in essence.
Yes, and even though, and this happens with this planet and the next two that we talk about, this planet wasn't known about. During those time periods in history.
No.
And yet, when you trace back the cycle of this planet, it aligns with those moments in history.
Yeah.
Like, how can you say that that's something made up?
Yeah, or random or
Yeah.
something. I mean, I guess you can say whatever you want.
Well,
but
of course, people can say.
The truth is what's actually happening, what's documented, and then also, like, how you feel. Like, you can't deny, you can pretend, but you can't actually escape that.
Yeah,
So,
or you can blame it on something else.
You totally
or you
can.
can attribute it to something else. That's
absolutely.
fine, too.
I'm not even saying you shouldn't, but the truth is out there.
Yeah.
That's the X-Files, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
Love that show.
Well, that's amazing, because I love that show, too.
Okay. Are we ready to go to Neptune?
Yes.
Are you ready to go to... I wish we could go to
I'm ready.
Neptune. Yeah.
Cute.
I know. We need one of those little cute space helmets.
Yeah, where it's like a bubble.
Yeah.
And it's
but
like
our hair
cute.
fits in it. Cute.
Yeah, because our hair is like bubbled and it's pink.
Yes, and like
then
blue.
Yeah, and it's like shiny that has like the... Oh, that's so cute.
That is cute.
And we're in like a flying saucer. It's like a saucer with like a bubble top.
And it's like pink. That is so cute.
So cute.
Okay, so we can't really go to Neptune. But Neptune also just recently went into Aries.
I know, Jesus.
Much like Saturn. It's still roughly at 1 degree of Aries because its cycle is so long.
Yes.
It's currently in retrograde as of today.
Yeah.
Let me give you the dates on this, friends. So it's going to be, it went in on March 30th, 2025. It's going to stay there in Aries, sometimes in retrograde, sometimes not, through October 22nd of this year. Then it's going to go back into Pisces until January 26th of 2026, where it will stay in Aries until March 23rd, 2039.
Well, I can't even think about that year.
I hate it.
I hate it too. Oh my God, I can't even,
But that's a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
It has like a 165-year cycle altogether.
Yeah.
And it's like, whatever. It varies, but 15 to 20-something years in each sign. So it's starting a long cycle. But it's very different energy than the energies we've been discussing.
Pisces to Aries.
Well, and Neptune. Is very different energy.
Yeah.
Neptune is about all kinds of like beautiful things. Mysticism, mystery. It's very soft. It's very gentle.
Yeah.
Spiritual. But it also is disturbed and boundaryless. And sacrificial in a very like victim-y way.
Yeah, martyr-y way.
Yes.
Totally.
So, with the things you were already saying about like Uranus and like we're going to be saying about Pluto even more, this is a little bit precarious.
It is.
Because Aries is very different than that. However, Aries is also kind of like, that's how we want to be? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's dangerous.
It is dangerous. It's a little unmoored, and it's a little... When you think about the things that Neptune sort of presides over, that's coupling that with that Uranus and Gemini energy is like, oh God, like what are people going to be even doing or thinking? Like you could completely just like overhaul like everything you believe in. And I wouldn't even blame you because what do you believe in at this point? Like, it's wild.
And like I've been saying, look to where the sign of Aries falls in your chart. Look to that house for yourself personally. But just thinking about all of this as collective energy, because it is. Of course, it matters what you or I or anyone does as an individual. However, the collective is going to be moving in this energy, in this direction.
Yeah.
Almost regardless of what you do as an individual. And I don't mean that in a disempowering way. I just mean we have to deal with this energy, not just personally, but as a collective. We're now in these transpersonal planets. They're beyond just the day-to-day.
Yeah, because it's kind of pushing you along. It's like all these, it's like a crowd, right? Where it's just like, exactly. And you're like, no, I don't want to. But then you are moving, like, even if it's half an inch, it's like you're still moving.
Yeah, or at least you're getting pressed on.
You're getting pressed, and you're just like, oh my God, okay, yeah. Yes. And with these ideas, like, the pressing on is, like, intense.
For sure. So this is just, again, like, and like you were saying earlier, like, all three of these planets that we just discussed, all changing signs within, few months this year, that doesn't happen all the time because these cycles are very different. They're much different lengths. Like this is a significant collective shift of energy.
It is.
Like, towards what end, I can't really say, of course, but it's something.
It's something. And all the retrograding and then moving forward and then retrograding.
Yeah, which they do a lot out
there. They do. But it just adds to it. And it's like, I don't necessarily know if that's good or bad. I mean, that could it could be positive in some ways because it gives you time to sort of process what's going on. But still, I don't even know. Some of this, I don't even know how you process. And I'm not saying that to be like doomsday about it at all. But more to your point of focus on the things you can, because you're not going to be able to figure this all out. It's not a thing you can do.
Yeah, and ultimately, even though I think in terms of the collective, these planets in Aries are kind of like, eek, but as an individual, I think that Aries energy can help you hold on to your individuality.
That's so true.
Despite these collective kind of influences.
Yeah,
and
it's really strong.
Let's get to Pluto next.
Okay.
Because we're having so much, just optimistic, energetic
fun.
It's
so fun.
Now it's time to talk about Pluto.
Now let's add Pluto in the mix. He's like, finally.
I know.
He's out here.
I know. Poor Pluto. He's like, he's had problems his whole
He's
life.
like, I have. Neptune's like, what about me?
I know.
It's not about you.
No. Well, so Pluto, that has a really long cycle. It's about 250 years. As I mentioned, the United States
250 years.
is sort of just had its Pluto return, but all of that also happened on the cusp of the Capricorn into Aquarius, which is still where we're kind of at right now.
Yes.
So, this is like revolutionary energy.
Yeah.
Pluto is in Aquarius. It's about 2 degrees right now. It's currently in retrograde, which again happens a lot. Mm-hmm. But it went in back in March of 2023 and permanently, because then it retrograded and kind of bounced around, permanently entered that on November 19th, or will on November 19th. Or no, it did. In 2024.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I didn't even write when it comes out because it was too far in the future.
I didn't either.
It's like 22 years away or
You're
something.
just going to be dealing with it for a while.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. Transformation, karma, power. And Aquarius is about technology. And it's about revolution.
Yeah, rebelling.
And rebellion.
Burning things down.
And even like similar to, that Uranus energy about invention and about new things coming forward all the time.
Yes.
Like in technology.
Yeah.
It's this whole revolution that we're already seeing playing out. Pluto is also really warning us to take a look at this.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is a transformation and that's supposed to happen, but you better be careful what you're doing with this.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't mean people are going to be careful.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't mean that there isn't going to be a lot of collateral. And,
totally.
And again, yes, that's part of a transformation. That's part of, what you need to see and what has happened throughout history. I mean, humans, whenever you're in your time period, it's such a egocentric view and all of that. And that's normal. Of course that's how you're going to feel. But if you
because we can't process on these bigger levels.
Of course not.
Even
it's
though we're
impossible.
aware of them.
We only have our one life. What are we going to do? You can't, as much as you want to normalize things, some things cannot be normalized. There is no way to do that. You can think there was the fall of this empire and the fall of this other empire.
Because that's comforting to think about.
It's
all civilizations have fallen before us.
And that's what intellectuals will say. And it's okay, that's a very intellectual thought, but what does that do for anybody? And there's nothing you can really do with, it's the truth.
But it also is that Gemini and that Aquarius, that air energy, that sense of sort of detachment in both of them, where it's kind of just that's just what I see. That's what's happening. And that's what I think.
It's happened before. It's going to happen again. It's just,
oh God,
Yeah, I know.
It's hard.
It is
so
hard.
These outer planets, like we've said this entire time, it's this collective energy. It's these massive kind of unknown, directional shifts that probably we don't even know the full extent of while it's happening.
Yeah.
It's more of a thing where you look back in history, and you can kind of see, oh, look at all this and this and this, right? But it's also like you do still have agency. Look at where it is in your house. Control the things you can control.
Yes.
Place your energy where it benefits you to place it. And it may benefit you to place it in helping out the collective in various ways, or, you know, supporting other people, of course, but just not to get lost in the sauce, you know?
Yeah, it's hard, but again, knowledge is power, and knowing, you know, some of why these themes might be coming up, or why you're like, is everyone crazy? Yeah. Kind of, yeah. So then, right, you can just kind of like let that go, like.
And also, if people are saying a bunch of like crazy shit, you can be like, yeah, that's because Pluto's in Aquarius, and then you'll just stop them dead in their tracks.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, now she's saying crazy shit. But that's okay.
Whatever.
They can think you're saying crazy shit, but you know.
You know that we know that you're not crazy, and you know that they are crazy.
They're like,
don't know that we know, and you know that you're not crazy.
They're like, who told you weren't crazy? They're like, the witches.
Those two witches.
Those two. The dumb ones. The witches. They're like, the dumb witches. The dumb ones told you this. Who is that?
Wow. Well.
We don't know. No one knows anything.
No, but at least we know that we don't know.
We know that we don't know. And that's the key to just being dumb and happy in your pink spacesuit.
See you on Neptune.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Until next time.
Stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.
Dumb Witch Club is written and hosted by us, Ashley Sidner
and Jackie Gerard, at the Dumb Witch Clubhouse in Orange County, California.
Produced and edited by Matt Heinemeyer. Art direction by Violet Turner. Culture consultant Jane Turner.
Original music by Ashley Sidner. Look us up on all your favorite social media platforms, including TikTok and Patreon.
Until next time, stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.